Well, welcome to the Boruto podcast. Joined by a lot of people here. We got Boruto fan, MF Korra, Drifting, Watch Boruto, and of course Blonde Hanada, always pulling up here and on X. So today we're doing the Chapter 21 review, Two Blue Vortex Chapter 21, and it's titled Mangekyo Sharingan, and the cover just looks crazy. Like, so that's like a poster. So cool.
Yeah, that's one of my favorite covers so far.
I like how someone said that like her first poster into Blue Vortex is like, you know, that brick wall behind backwards, and then like this one is like her destroying it with her ability.
Oh, wow.
I like that little progression.
Yeah. And this is such a cool cover. It's beautiful. The red, it just pops. All right, so if we move on.
Good in that cover. Oh shit.
We're moving on to the first page. Or page 2 after the cover. And when I started reading this chapter, it just felt like a bunch of PTSD just hitting.
What?
Like,
when is that right there?
It's all
PTSD.
flashbacks. It's all flashbacks.
No. Like, when exactly is that? That part
This
where
moment?
she's talking to Jojo.
I don't know.
Maybe like right after the tuning.
Well, I don't remember because she says in that her goal is to become Hokage. So that's at minimum or at the earliest, I guess, after episode 23. Y'all remember episode 23 or no? It's the end of Shin Uchiha arc.
Yeah.
Yeah, so at the end of that arc, she literally at the end, in the end credit scene, after the outro or the ending, we get a little bit extra where she's in a classroom with Boruto, and she's talking about, you know, thanking him for. Well, actually, first Boruto was thanking her for delivering that little lunchbox, right? Boruto had a lunchbox that he was going to give to Naruto, but Naruto had to go away to go meet up with Sasuke at some other location. And then he was like, thank you for delivering the lunchbox, because, you know, the lunchbox is not of that much significance just because it's a lunchbox. It's because of who made the lunchbox, right? It was a whole point that, you know, the effort of whoever made that whoever person was the one that made the lunchbox to go. That's them to whatever person they give it to. So Boruto giving that shit to Naruto would have been good, but he had to go, and then Sarada used that as an excuse, be like, "Well, I'll deliver it for you," so she could leave the village. But after all that, he thanks her, and then she's like, "No, I should be thanking you," because that gave her the excuse to leave, and then she went on that whole arc. And at the end, she's like, "Because of you, now I know what my goal is." And then her goal was, Boruto's like, "Your goal?" She was like, "Yeah, I'm gonna become the Hokage." And then once Boruto heard that, this is when Boruto still didn't like the Hokage, not his father, Naruto, the Hokage. He knows he's been made the distinction. Some of y'all haven't, but not y'all right here, but some other people, right?
Actually, so, it was a bit of both. He's relating Naruto and the Hokage together. He's not separating it. Like,
no, he's like literally separating it. We got to go over episode 12 again. But either way,
okay.
He was talking about, she was going to become the Hokage, so then he looked sad at the end of the end credits, and then it goes to the actual preview for next episode, which is titled Boruto and Sarada. But it has to be at least after that, because that's literally when we first hear of her saying her goal is to become Hokage. That's 23 and part of 24, because in 24 it expands on it more.
Yeah, that hard.
But I don't know when that is. I don't know where that scene right there where her Chocho talking about some. I wonder where I could find me a hottie. That sounded horrible, but I don't know where that is. Like what part in the timeline? I just know it's after that, but it's obviously before what's about to happen in the next couple pages.
Yeah.
You know? Go ahead.
Okay, so let's start off with the dialogue here, because every single piece of dialogue is important here in the manga. So it starts off, Sarada saying, "You see, becoming Hokage is my dream. Hokage like Lord Seven." And Jojo is like, "For real? You're way too self-aware, Sarada." She says, "Moi, I'll take a boyfriend today over some future dream." And then I wonder where I can find myself a hottie. And I envy your carefreeness. And then we jump off to another PTSD scene. Boom, it's Boruto and Sarada. He says, Boruto says to Sarada, "What I'm
Wait,
aiming
what
for
happened
is
to the Naruto?
That's the
What
next
happened
page.
to the Naruto fan? Oh, okay, I'm tripping.
That's right. So, and that's, yeah, I think every single piece of PTSD here pulled up is very important. And I think when they animate it, it's going to like be so emotional and like crazy.
See, I know this part right here. The Boruto, that's the mountaintop. That's easy. That's the end of the movie, episode 66, same shit.
So
But that's that.
He says, Sarada, what I'm aiming for is to become a shinobi like your dad. And he says, you're going to be Hokage, right? Then I'll be your right-hand man and work hard to protect you. Okay. And then the next one. So we see, it shows Sarada blush real quick. And then the next one, there's Sumire. And Sumire says, and does that bother you, Sarada, that other girls might like Boruto? Well, it certainly bothers me. That's just crazy girl drama, I think.
Yeah, that's super crazy.
If I remember correctly, I think that's 183 episode for the Sumire telling her she likes him. I might be wrong though. I don't remember because it was a little bit a while ago.
It's a complete 180 from when Naruto and Sasuke kissed at the academy. So now it's foreshadowing Boruto and Sarada linking up in a relationship. That's how I look at it. Kind of crazy, but
so yeah, it's the Sumire story I think is gonna get deep. So the next one, Naruto. He says, as Hokage, all of the people in this village are like family.
See, now this is one I know. That one right there, that exact frame, it's word for word, or panel, whatever. That is word for word, episode 22, Shin Uchiha arc. He says that in that episode after Sarada thinks, well, she found out, but it's not real. She thinks Sakura isn't her own mom and it's Karen, right? This is the DNA test. So he gets to, he's dumb again, messing everything up. He gave him a DNA test. They were like perfect match, so that the umbilical cord that Karen had is at least 100% connected to her, right? So meaning, oh, I'm not Sakura's daughter. I'm Karen's daughter. So when she was about to storm off, because everybody's lied to her whole life, she's not even related to her parents, who she thought she was to, right? And then she was talking about some, this isn't your business or something like that to Naruto, right? Trying to let me go because he was holding her back from leaving so they could talk it over. And then that's when he hits him with that. He hits him with the as Hokage, everybody in the village is my family. And then he says that I told this to Boruto time and time again, right? The whole And this is why I told you, he knows the difference. Because then Sarada, after hearing everybody in the village is my family as Hokage, right? That part. She's like, isn't that just a convenient excuse? Because it is. It's literally a convenient excuse. But either way, yeah, that's from episode 22. I like that they brought that back up again because they've been bringing up that arc, Shin arc, all the time. Last chapter, in our last chapter review, I was bringing up how they were connecting it back to episode 19. As a matter of fact, for the last chapter review, if anybody watching or listening, I guess, listen to that one, I got my numbers wrong a little bit, just a little bit. So it wasn't episode 10, it was episode 9. I forgot it was only one episode off, though. And I only forgot because I always treat episode 8 and 9 as a singular episode because that's how they were supposed to be. But Kishimoto was talking about let's do some more here. Let's do some more, right? Adding more story points or plot points that they had to separate it because it wouldn't have fit in a 20-something, 30-something minute thing, right? So they put it into 2. But that's why I got numbered episode 10. So whenever I was saying episode 10, it was episode 9. My fault. And then for the Mitsuki arc from the last review that I kept referencing, that episode was episode 89. That's just, a little thing for the people from last review, if anybody listened to it.
Thank you, Watch Boruto. That's very nice. And that's great that you can pull off those points. I love it. Yeah. Good job. So I wanted to ask, with these panels here, PTSD flashbacks, Ikimoto, he redrew it, right? Or did they take it from?
I'm assuming it's easier to just, bring the panel over.
Drew it.
And that's it.
There's no black panel.
Did draw the Naruto thing though, because that wasn't in the manga. The Shin arc, that wasn't at all in the manga. So, yeah, at least that Naruto one was for sure new, which makes sense because there's no background, right?
Yeah. Okay. So moving on to the next page, and it goes from the first page, like a casual conversation with her best friend, to Boruto, to Sumire, to Naruto, and the next one, it's just getting worse and worse for Sarada. So on page 4, she's talking to herself in this part. And I think this is when she was trying to go save. What is she doing? I don't know what she's doing. Why she's doing
towards Boruto after Boruto ran out of the man. That's why I was having such a hard time figuring out where that part with Chocho was at the beginning, because I remember 77, 78, 79, 80. She was at the mansion with Boruto and them whenever Kawaki escaped. And he shrank, and then he went away to go talk to Naruto. Because this is where it is, right? This is right before Omnipotence. This is right before he seals him. Or I guess right after. Because they hear word that Naruto is gone and Kawaki did something. But that Chocho part, I don't know where it's at. Maybe they must have, forgot that she was at the mansion or something. But, no, this part, at least her running, is 78. Because she's chasing after after Boruto, and Boruto's chasing after Kawaki.
Well, the thing is, I think the main point to take from that arc is that Sarada adopted Naruto's mindset philosophy. When
she been had that. It comes to becoming,
well, that arc is when she adopted it.
What, the Shin arc?
Now, yeah, that's when she adopted the whole. I would become
okay. I thought you were talking about the Omnipotence arc, because the Shin arc is when they didn't thought that.
Yeah. So now they're just now bringing it back up, and they're saying, okay, this whole time she's been kind of shutting everyone out because she believes that those are all weaknesses, and she can't become Hokage if she's busy worrying about this person and that person and feelings and stuff like that. But now she's realizing that, yeah,
So you got that
it's
all off. What are you talking about?
well, the village is my family. Think about that sentence.
Yeah.
Okay, what does that mean?
What you mean? She's
What
still
does
gonna
it mean
believe
when you
that
say
too. It's not like she's
well, what
gonna
does it
not.
mean?
It literally means
Well,
what she said it means.
when she says the village is my family, she's basically saying that I can't be biased towards this person or that person. I have to treat everyone equally as family. Meaning she was
we know
putting
that,
Boruto in that she's putting Boruto in that category, saying, yeah, Boruto's in the same boat. Right now,
What?
she's finally realizing that she does have these feelings towards him, and she's kind of she's
See,
releasing
I
those
knew
like
it was gonna
restrictions.
happen. I knew this was gonna happen right here. I don't know who started it, but they was pushing that shit a lot. Um, Even when the lease came out, and I was avoiding it, but I was like seeing some of the chatter. But this
It
whole
was
she
frightening.
adopted Naruto's thing, we've been knew this though. It's not a new thing.
I'm just saying that
that's
that's what we can take away from the Shin arc. Like everything else in the Shin arc is a bit minor, but like what we can take away from that arc is she adopted Naruto's.
Yeah, that's why it was an end credit scene at the end of it at episode 23, because it was one of the few episodes to have an end credit scene. Episode 1 does. Episode 23 does. Episode yada yada yada, but only a couple out of the 293. So it's obvious that that's what they want us to see. But this whole we get.
I think we're straying a bit though. I think we're straying a bit. I think we should have Zook, continue with the chapter.
Yeah, we're on page 4 still. So, so then we see the scene where Boruto jumps in front of Sarada and gets his eye slashed. And this is like
that. If anything, the episode that it should be going back to, or if anything that it should be connected to, it would be 152. Y'all know 152, right? Or y'all don't remember?
Not off the top of my head.
152 is when Sarada has the little like medical ninjutsu lessons where she's doing all this this stuff and she's somehow getting through it with luck. Or maybe not luck, I don't know. But yeah, they that should be the episode, if anything. Not back to the Shin arc, because we've been new to that though. I mean, maybe it's for the people in the back again, because like I was saying in the last review for chapter 20.
Well, we don't want to regret
that
them.
Actually don't know how to read for Boruto.
Okay.
So yeah, 152 should be the one that everybody should now be like, oh, okay, they're connecting this part to it too. Because as you were saying, right, with the weaknesses, she viewing that as weaknesses when she should be accepting it. That's literally 152.
No, by weaknesses, what I'm saying is she is viewing her emotions as a. That's the point I'm making. Is her emotions is her weakness.
We know that she said it. That's what I'm saying.
That's what I'm just saying that's what we're revealing. Like Naruto's mindset, the village is my family, led to her concealing her emotions, and she's just now realizing that was not okay and that was a bad thing, and that helped her awaken her eye.
Well, that's not what Naruto means by the village of my whole family. That's not what he means. But okay,
I'm saying that's what he inspired. That's what she took from that, because she's just a child. She doesn't know.
Episode 23, same thing. She literally. This is why. Maybe it's because it was an end credit scene. But these people, how do they not catch it already back then? So in episode 23, part of it, because I skipped around just to talk about her goal. But when she was thanking Boruto, because first he was thanking her for the lunchbox, because she delivered it for him to Naruto. When she was talking about it, she was like, because I can't deliver lunchboxes to everyone in the village, right? So instead, I'm gonna become Hokage. And what she's saying there is that she's gonna protect everybody, just like Naruto do. That's why she can't pick and choose when she does or doesn't run off to danger, right? To save somebody from the village. Just like right now, she's running off towards danger. At least we know, but she currently doesn't know. To get saved, or not get saved, but to save Boruto, and then later Boruto saves her from the slash by Kaoki. That's what I'm saying.
Again, we're straying right now. It's been 30 minutes. We gotta move on.
That's literally what it is, though. That's what it is. It's not, that she's treating people certain way. Hell no. It's literally the opposite. It's her. She's going to protect everybody no matter. If you're in the village, you're my family. It's not no biases shit. It's no matter what. She cannot pick and choose. Instead, because that's what she was talking about back then with the Shin arc, when she was like, when Naruto told her that as Hokage, everybody in the village is my family. And that part was him literally talking about how it's her business. Or it's his business too. Because she was like, "This is none of your business," or some bullshit like that. So he was like, "Oh, really?" And then that's when he told him that, and that's what she's talking about. He's talking about everything in the village going on is his business, because he has to protect everybody, and that's what she's doing.
Hell yeah. So, mostly
Let's move on.
Y'all are just misunderstanding what he means by, and by he I mean Naruto. What Naruto literally means by everybody in the village is his family.
If you wanna debate, we have a debate podcast. So we haven't done the first episode yet, but if you wanna debate about it, we can do that too.
It's not a debate. I'm just right. That's why, right? Sarada, when she says, "Isn't that just a convenient excuse?" That's what she thought of that back then.
Watch Boruto.
You know what I mean?
Watch Boruto.
What?
We're straying, bro. We have to move on.
We're not straying. It's literally the panel. If you can't follow, then just say that. It's different.
Fine.
But
I can't follow. Let's move on.
So, when she says that's a convenient excuse, that's what she thought during the Shin arc. You said what we should take away from that arc? That her change in mindset from, that's just a convenient excuse. Because that's what Boruto also thought. It's just a convenient excuse. When he figured it out was 61 or 62, whichever one was the one where he took the bomb from Momoshiki and saved everybody in the village. And then he was like, "Oh, damn." And people always like to understand that one, but they don't understand the Sarada one. That one was obvious. Because that's what it was rubbing off on her.
We gotta let other people talk.
No,
we can't go with the wrong idea that they're telling us in the story.
Well, I was just.
That's why I was like, these leaks are.
The way I see it.
Right. Yeah, he's right. We got to move on. Come on. This is a chapter review. We're only on page 4.
Yeah.
I get it. If you're saying that we're wrong or this and that, you could do a whole debate podcast about it. It's not an issue.
Or we could talk about after the podcast.
Yeah, or after, yeah. But let's continue. So, page 5, we see Boruto with his eye slack. And Kawaki is now making a statement to Sarada. And he says, "Move aside, Sarada, or are you still feeling the need to interfere?" And the next panel, it's just PTSD after PTSD. So next panel, we got Shikamaru. And he says, "Regarding Lord Seventh, who has been missing, there's a strong possibility that he's already deceased at Boruto's hands. Mitsuki's already in Sage mode. He says he needs to go after him. Let's go, Sarada. I'll kill him." Sarada is now having a flashback about Sasuke. And he says, "I can't blame him. In fact, it's perfectly It's a perfectly normal reaction. Boruto almost killed Kawaki, and then with Naruto and Hinata. And this is obviously making Sarada feel terrible because she kind of knows, or she does know that this is not the case after right before Omnipotence when they got the mission or got to go the word to go get Boruto. And she says, I don't understand what's going on. What is wrong with everyone? The next
Well, see, there
page.
go again. She
Mhm.
doesn't know, but she knows damn well Boruto would never do that.
Right.
It's different.
But because she just went to go save him. And now they're saying that it's opposite, like Sasuke's reaction and Shikamaru's reaction and Mitsuki's reaction, all of them literally flipping from going after Kawaki to Boruto. She just saw all that. So obviously, yeah, she knows something's not right.
Yeah, but it's a difference from saying she knows, and then she just knows it's a hint. You know what I mean? Like, it's different. That's why the way we say things and what we say really does change how you understand the story.
She is confused because everything just switched on her. But much like we've seen with Sasuke, and maybe we'll see later on, like how he can determine like, okay, something's not right. And they all do. They all figure out at some point. But it looks like also in the next panel, Sumire also knows that something's wrong. She also sees that they're all coming after Boruto when they were all actually going after Kawaki. She sees that that's not right how they suddenly switch. So Sumire says, I'd say that Ada is involved somehow. Similar to the phenomenon where all who see her become her captives. I believe something's happened to everyone, and they show a picture of omnipotence happening. So the next panel says, just earlier, everyone was chasing Kawaki. And then all of a sudden, now they're trying to find and kill Boruto instead. That's, I believe Sarada saying that. And she says, or Sumire says, and that would never happen under normal circumstances. It's clear some unnatural power is at work, something powerful like a shinjutsu. And when she says unnatural, and because she's in the science field and all that and works alongside Amado with some stuff, if she's saying that this is unnatural, shinjutsu is unnatural, so it's not a natural process of someone like powering up. There's some like
I mean,
scientific.
they likened it to divine miracles, right? Phenomena. Most people, when they think of phenomena, they don't think of something like, oh, it makes sense. So not natural, especially to a scientist. You know, the laws of nature. So
yeah, so we see Sarada crying here. She says, it's too cruel. Why can't Boruto ever get a break? And she says, but this. And her, right then and there, her eye, the next panel.
Hold on. You read that one the wrong way.
Oh,
it goes, but this, and then it's too cruel.
Oh, yeah, I did. But this, it's too cruel. Why can't Boruto ever get a break? And she starts crying. And the next page 8, we see her tears kind of dried up. And we see her Sharingan. And the next panel, we see Boruto with Sasuke with his eye with the bandage on it. And Sasuke's talking to him, and Boruto says, Mangekyo Sharingan. Sasuke says, it's a variant of the Uchiha Sharingan said to be triggered into awakening by extreme psychological shock. And then the next page.
Like that so said that because again, there are people that are dumb and they think
I know. I was gonna mention that. It's good for people starting on Boruto. Yeah.
That's what I'm telling you. It's reading comfort. But no.
Like,
when did this happen? This didn't happen. I don't remember him doing this in part 1. The bandage, him saying Mangekyo Strong. I don't remember that.
Does
It's
someone?
clearly
in between.
in the time period
This is
right
the
there.
time skip. Yeah,
I
this
know.
is the.
That's what I'm saying. It's in that
It was
little gap.
What's
But
interesting is I was trying to mention
he
it
just
earlier with the
recorded that.
flashback. There's no black borders on the
Black
panels to like indicate like it would be a flashback, you know? Like
Oh, like the shading where it. Okay.
yeah,
I mean,
so it's kind of weird. I
I
guess
think it
I don't
might
know.
be obvious, right?
Yeah, it
If we
is.
started off as a flashback, then we'd know, okay, this is not what we were just on the last chapter. So what? And it, so I don't think they have
But
to really tell you that much.
I wanted to
But yeah,
mention how
I want that.
the Sasuke the dialogue here is really good for readers who might have not even checked out Naruto and just hopped on to Boruto. This is a good way to teach them something about it and how it works real quick. But Sasuke continues and he says on page 9, so something truly terrible, well beyond normal understanding, must have happened. And Boruto pauses and then it's a flashback of Sasuke from Sarada real quick, where she says, Dad, Boruto isn't guilty. He would never kill Lord Seventh. Everyone's being duped. And that's while she's crying, I think right before she unlocked the Mangekyo. And Sasuke says, she insisted we were all being duped. And it's likely the truth. Sarada's Mangekyo Sharingan is all the proof I need to believe her words. And that's a very powerful statement. That shows that Sasuke as a father, as an Uchiha father, that's very, very cool to see that is how he determines reality.
Yeah.
I forgot which episode it was on the podcast. It was one where we were talking about this very thing too. It might have been around when Amato was starting to figure out something was off or amiss. I was talking about faith, right? Because faith is the ultimate, not really inspirer, but it's the ultimate motivation. Literally having faith. So his penultimate thing, right? For Amato, it was science because he's a scientist. For him, he's a dad first. That's why it was an episode in Boruto where they said the same for Naruto. Yeah, I forget. It was one of his classmates, Naruto's classmates. So one of the adults now. They told him, "Don't forget, you were his father before you became Hokage." Matter of fact, it might have been Kakashi. That just sounds like something Kakashi would say. But yeah, that parenthood, that's the strongest thing that they have right now. That, and then the second thing would be whoever they're co-parenting with, right? So
Yeah.
Sarada, penultimate, then it would go Sakura. For any type of proof or anything to motivate him, that's how it orders. And then probably Naruto in there somewhere.
So Boruto says, Uncle, we're on page 9, by the way. He says, Uncle. And Sasuke says, those eyes of hers will likely be a great help going forward. Though it seems Sarada herself isn't yet aware that they've awakened. But she will realize it eventually, as well as intuitively come to understand. And then the next page 10, he says, her abilities and what she is capable of, and it's zoomed into her face, Sasuke's face, and the next panel, and the diagonal look to the panel just makes it look so cool. The way Ikimoto put it, it's like going off the page too, and we see Sarada like posing at a stance there, she's looking, and her eyes are out, and you see on the right side or her left side is a black, so they call it black circle. And then the next panel has a close up of her Mangekyo. And they're in the anime, they're gonna make the sound for it and whatever. And maybe an animation, I don't know. But we see Mitsuki shocked. We see Arya is holding a dead Yodo. we see, and she looks dead here. She's definitely, I'd say she's dead here. We see Ryu looking up. So Arya, Mitsuki, and Ryu are all looking up at this black circle. And so I want to just mention that her eye obviously resembles like a sun. So moving on to page 12. Ryu is then going to attack Sarda. And then we see his attack with the Iron Sand moving away from Sarda, getting deflected. And then in a little panel here, the bottom left, after Ryu, we see he's shocked. His Iron Sand is getting literally sucked into that hole. And or this circle, black circle, it looks like it has like flames to it.
It does.
Yeah, I think it definitely does have flames to it. So we see the page 13, just a close up of it. And Ryu says, "What is that black sphere? Is it one of Uchiha Sarada's abilities?" And Sarada says, "Mitsuki, guard Arya and Yodo and protect yourself too." Mitsuki says, "Sarada, your eyes." So has Mitsuki not seen this before? Is this, or do you think Sarada has done this in the time skip?
He's trying to tell her because before when last chapter he just thought of it to himself. He was like, her eyes. So he didn't say it. But now he's trying to tell her, your eyes, look. But she can't look. How you gonna look with your eyes?
But it's the next page. She says, don't worry. She knows, basically she knows what she's doing. So she says, don't worry. This ability may have just awakened, but I already know what it can do. And then we see Ryu is like talking to himself. He says, I don't know how, but it seems all of the Iron Sand, it draws towards it. In which case, he tries to do another attack here. And he says, I just need to make sure you're along the sand's trajectory. And then as she's looking at the sand there, it goes to the ground. And it goes the other direction, looks like, actually. Doesn't go, it's coming out of the ground and moving away from her. And it's going towards Ryu. And he says, what the? They're heading toward the opposite direction. And it goes behind him. And we see it goes into another circle. And Ryu literally says, another sphere, that one absorbed it. So there are two. And he says, no, wait, I see. And then the next panel, absolutely, what a crazy panel. I just got to say, this chapter has a bunch of beautiful panels, very beautiful artwork. But page 18, we see a bunch of spheres, circles, flaming circles here. And Ryu says, more, I count at least 4 spheres. So this is where I want to talk about her abilities. And I hope Boruto fan is here. Maybe you can chip in.
Yeah, I'm here.
Yeah. And this is where I wanted to give my input. I just want to mention I was studying astronomy in school this spring semester. And I learned about, black holes and stuff. And so Sarada's eyes resemble the sun. And how you make a black hole is it depends on the star. There's a star out there. And when it dies, it turns into a red giant. And then after turning into a red giant, it implodes on itself. And it shrinks and shrinks and shrinks. And that's when it releases all its last hydrogen and helium and just like metals and stuff. But it's so heavily condensed, this mass that the star like shrinks into, it is so heavily condensed that things get sucked into it and it becomes a black hole. Basically, like the gravity is just sucking it all in. And I see it's very similar here with Sarada's ability. We can call it black holes, but I'm sure they have a different name for it. So what do you guys think about her ability?
When I look at it, right, I'm thinking it's like the design is kind of like the Amaterasus, but like in like a ball and like obviously a sphere. That's how I'm seeing it.
Right.
And since Ohirume is the like similar to the name of Amaterasu, or basically the same thing, that's another reason why I also see it like that.
Well, we didn't get that far yet in the chapter yet, but we'll talk about that one. Yeah, about Ohirume and I did some translating and saw what it was, but so Watch Boruto, you have any comments about that? Drifting?
I mean, I still can't. I don't got enough yet to pick a side. You know, I still would rather it be a black hole though, like just regular. Because even black holes, it's not one of those. Because people always think, oh, black hole, it just gets sucked in immediately. No, it actually has mass to it, right? It has so much mass, meaning it can actually touch other objects. But once it starts touching, a spaghettification, or
Yes, yeah, you're right. Spaghettification.
You know,
good point.
In this case, I don't know because it was just immediate. But yeah.
Well, I wonder what happens with the stuff that goes in there.
It's hard because like I'm trying to figure out because like is it like Boruto fan said, like is it like a ball of fire that's also a gravity sphere? Like is it like basically a mini sun? Is that what it is? A mini sun?
Oh, the power of the sun in the palm of his hands, her hands.
Yeah,
that's that Dr. Octopus.
Well, that's her eye. Her eyes represent the sun.
It looks like there's flames, but I can't tell if there's flames because when Ryu gets sucked in, he's on top of the sphere and he's yelling, but he's talking about the pressure. He's not getting burnt. He's just talking about the pressure. So I can't tell if he's burning or if he just exploded because of the high pressure.
I think we should keep going before we keep talking about it because we're kind of like spoiling the future panels.
Well, look though, right?
Yeah, that's true.
The way he draws it, it definitely doesn't look like flames to me. Because when we've seen him draw flames with Kashin Koji and whoever else has flames with Amaterasu, that's different. Like you could tell for sure that's flames. So because the way he's drawing it right now, I don't think it's flames. Just because of the connection with, how he draws actual fire. Then again, it could be different because it is Two Blue Vortex, not part 1 no more. So
okay, so moving on to the next page 20. We see actually the page before that we see Ryu starts floating and Sarada actually starts floating. And the next page 20. We see them both floating in the air. So now Sarada can fly. She can levitate.
Yeah.
So Ryu was like, damn it, what's going on? And Mitsuki says, they're floating. And he says, that's it. I bet it's gravitational force. And Ryu sends another attack. And it goes to the ground. Or he actually, is he doing that as a defense?
He's trying to get back. He's trying to grab the ground so he can get back down. Because the ball is the sphere is pulling him, so he's trying to use his hand so he can get back down.
Okay, so the next page, Mitsuki says, I suspect that the sphere is exerting gravitational pull, but only upon Ryu, the Iron Sand, and Sarada herself. It isn't affecting you, me, or any of the natural objects around us. She's able to pick what it applies to. So this confirms, okay, gravitational force. They literally use the word gravity. And Ryu says this force I'm being pulled towards the sphere too. And Sarada says, for too long, I've averted my gaze, fretting that my goal to become Hokage felt so out of reach. Never being able to do anything about never being able to do anything, all of the calamities happening. I didn't want to acknowledge it. I was scared to admit how powerless I am. So I was scared to admit how powerless I am. I didn't want to acknowledge it, so I looked away.
She says never being able to do anything about all the calamities. You read it wrong, left or right.
Okay. And then page 24, Sumire is there, another flashback. She says, from the me who felt unsettled by class reps' feelings, there's Boruto, and from my own feelings towards Boruto. She says, I rejected them all as weaknesses, not really realizing that I was also rejecting the power hiding inside me. And
This is
Rio's
what I
getting,
was saying with 152. 152, the whole episode, she's looking at and hearing about, oh, Naruto's so perfect. Naruto's this, Naruto's that. He's not even close. But, so she has to uphold herself to that standard because she wants to be like him, right? If whatever he could do, I need to be able to do it too. So that's why whenever it was a whole class for medical ninjutsu and you had to take one person from the team to go to that, it really should have been Miski, but they because of that whole pressure, she was like, I'm gonna go. She was peer pressured and she wanted to do it anyways. So it was a little bit of both. But in that one, she was still again trying to be perfect. And then by the end of that episode, she was like, oh, I can't do it. Right. But she didn't accept that she couldn't do it. What'd she do? She decided to get better at it. That's all you can do, right? So she at the end asked either Inojin or Iwabe. I forgot who. Probably Iwabe or Inojin. But one of them, help me with this, help you with that. It's the same thing with that one Denki episode in Iwabe, episode 16. And then later, we know that actually benefited from her helping whoever it was that in that episode 152, because she can do a little bit of healing now. Not too much, but a little bit of healing. She heals, I forgot who it was. Somebody, maybe Kagura? I think it might have been Kagura in the second Mist arc, in the Funado arc. I don't remember who it was, but she heals somebody with the help of another, but still. You know what I mean?
so, yeah. So, okay, moving on to page 25. Rio says, quit mumbling nonsense, you psycho, and goes to attack her. And she activates her Sharingan. The next page is crazy. We see a giant. It definitely looks like flaming sphere here, black flaming sphere. And you see Ryu there. And Sarada's like floating above. She has more like circles, spheres around her, black holes. And Ryu says, the pulling force is getting stronger. He's screaming. Sarada says,
oh, go ahead. I just realized.
Sarada says,
go ahead.
I'm not looking away anymore. You got a point?
Yeah, so the big close-up with Ryu pinned up against the ball. I know what it is now. Those are solar flares. Not the DBZ kind, but the ones in real life where it's the sun and then there's random rays of just fire or whatever it is, plasma, whatever the thing is made out of, just boom, bulging out and hidden, like whatever it's hidden. That's what that is right there. especially the one where it's her with the 3 in the back, and then real up close, it's the big one with Ryu. It's solar flares, and now it makes sense what happens later. But go ahead.
Okay. So on page 28, Sarda says, "Because if I run from myself, I can't tackle the reality in front of me." And we see, she says, "Can't save a single person." And there's Ryu getting probably destroyed right now, real quick. But he pulls out Shinju from the claw marks. Claw grime, actually. He pulls out a claw grime and he puts his fingers in. He's trying to escape. And his arm gets pulled and he says, "Damn it, can't even move a finger." Sarada says, "If becoming Hokage is my dream, I need to start by accepting myself." And I guess this is like a chapter where like Sarada just like shows her growing up. Stop being a kid, being scared. And the next panel is absolutely crazy. Page 30. We see Sarda flying, floating. We see triangles all around her. Is that how she's floating? Why is the triangles there? Is that just for the artwork or something?
Look at her Sharingan. It's literally like it makes the shape of her Sharingan.
Yeah, but we don't
things.
see those triangles in other panels. Is that like?
Yeah, this
is it
is
only
just the
pop up
design.
here? Okay.
I'm pretty sure it's
Just
just
made
the
it look
design.
weird.
What if it's
Artistic.
like the Tsukiyomi though? What if it's like the Infinite Tsukiyomi where it's literally in the background, the eye is in there? That could be what they're trying to go with this design, or not even design, artistic choice.
Yeah,
I think it's
but-
just the whole sun symbolism. I think that's all it is right now.
yeah.
Well, no, imagine it though, right? In animated version, the sky is red, and then the tomoes are in the back. Every time she does this, ability, that would be cool.
Oh my
Obviously,
gosh,
it's
that
not
would be
real,
amazing.
because then that would probably be reality warping because it's fucking changing the color of the sky. But it's just like it's the same thing with somebody said it, Itachi, on X, when Itachi did visited Datara before they were in the Akatsuki, and he put him already under a genjutsu. He was like, "I'm a god" or something like that, and it was sun rays in the back hidden on Itachi. So it's kind of like that, except for this, I would want it to be red skies with those tomoes in the back instead of it being sun rays, because I did see a very, very good fan art of this panel already colored. They was on it. They was quick. And it was sun rays. It was like damn near, I'm pretty sure, inspired by the Itachi scene. But yeah, that would be cool if it was red skies and the black triangle thingies, tomoe. Well, it's not even tomoe.
I don't know. It is kind of something. It's like a version of it. Well, it's the design, anyways. Mangekyo. But anyways,
You know what we need? We need a database for her ability. For the official website when they show like a description for the abilities. Like for example, like how Boruto used Utsuhiko, and then the website was like, okay, when he says chakra from the earth, he does not mean like natural energy, like sage senjutsu. He's just that's not what he means. That way we can have like some sort of clarification, because I'm curious if these are flames coming from the orbs, because it's bothering me. It looks like flames because like if you go back to the page where Ryu's like shouting right on top, like it looks like there's flames like in front of him. Like see that big
That's
thing
why I'm
in
saying
front
it
of
might be that
his
solar
legs.
flare stuff. It might be that
I know
solar
what you
flare
mean.
where it's literally blown. It. There was a movie that
It's
was
like right before
that depicted it. I don't remember what it was called though.
the panel right before it explodes. Like you can like it looks like a flame is in front of him, doesn't it?
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking.
Yeah, like what else would that
Well, actually,
be?
we ain't even got to that page yet, but Go ahead.
Isn't it page
Okay,
31?
so the dialogue here says Mangekyo Sharingan Ohurime, and it says here in the note on the next page, they literally put a note. It says Ohurime is an alternative name for Amaterasu, the sun goddess.
Oh, he remake or Rume, I mean.
The sun
You said it
goddess
backwards.
and chief deity of the Shinto pantheon. And I think I did a translation here. Hold on.
What? Oh, he Rume? Because you were
Yeah,
saying it wrong.
Ohirume, I translated it, and it is Japanese, and in English it means lunchtime. So,
Oh my god.
so the move.
Hey, that would be funny though, because what's sarda? Salad. Sarda is salad. So if Ohirume really translates to lunchtime, that would be funny.
Well,
I
that's
don't
what it
think
is.
so though.
That's what it translates. Go
It
ahead and
is?
translate it. Yeah.
Is it not like any alternative? Because I know they have
Nope.
like
That's
different
it.
words. It's just that one. Damn.
It's just lunchtime.
Normally they got at least two. Like
so,
Shibai.
what it makes sense because on the panel here, page 31, it shows Ryu is literally getting absorbed, eaten by this ball of flame, black ball of flame. So it makes sense. And then we see her eyes bleeding on both pages. So the next page, we see the ball explodes. Ryu literally turns into particles. Sarda is there and she starts to fall. As she loses consciousness, Mitsuki catches her with the snake arm. And the next page, Mitsuki says, she's unconscious. She must have used her chakra, up her chakra. And then we see the thorn bulb floating there. And the next page, 35, we see Ada, Boruto, and Kashin Koji. And we know that Ada is able to, they know that Ada is listening to them. So they're on the same page as Ada. And Ada says Ryu was just defeated, taken down by Sarada's new power. Kashin Koji says, so it's awakened. Good. We've managed to achieve one of the most critical goals of this battle. Ada says, indeed, though it's a real shame about Yodo. Kashin Koji says, but it wasn't in vain. Her sacrifice was a major contributing factor to this outcome, so it couldn't be helped. Boruto says, hey, wait a sec, Koji. Answer me truthfully. Was there any chance of the Mangekyo Sharingan awakening without anyone dying? And Koji says, I can say this much. If you'd gone to help, it definitely wouldn't have awakened. I determined, or Boruto says, you knew that Yodo would die and kept it from me, didn't you? Koji says, I determined it was best not to tell you, and our current conversation proves me right. This is page 37. Boruto says, and what about Master Konohamaru? Does he have any chance against Matsuri? And he says, answer me very firmly. And Koji says, you listen to me, Boruto. Jura is connected to all the other divine trees through shared senses. So if you appear before Matsuri, Jura will seize you in a flash and kill you. I've seen many permutations of this, all with the same ending. And we have Ada and Boruto listening, and Ada's listening. Boruto is looking down at Koji sitting there. So the next panel.
You wonder if that's a foreshadow? You wonder if that's a foreshadow? Because they did the same thing.
If this would happen again, where they're all in this.
No,
Probably.
It was in part 1. So when Boruto was in bed, I forget what chapter, probably 75, if I remember. But he's in bed, not sleeping, and then he looks at his hand, right, the karma hand on the right. Is it on the right? Yeah, on the right.
Yeah, it's on the right.
It's on the right. And then he thinks back to Momoshiki saying, "Those blue eyes shall take everything from me," right? And then the next two panels right after that is Ada. It's Ada right after those blue eyes will take, so this saying Majora will seize you in a flash. I've seen many permeations, all with the same ending. And then them two, what if they're trying to do something like that again? Something with them will stop the same ending from happening. It makes sense. They did it before too. But I don't know. I just thought that was maybe a little foreshadow
So
to what comes.
well, yeah. So the next page here, or panel, we obviously know we see the Boruto's pulling up. So this will get to test if Boruto can change the future that Katzen Koji sees. If he were to show up, we will see if that changes anything. My assumption is that Jura would probably pull up, and then it would actually involve Kawaki with his limiters off pulling up as well. But that's a reach. But I feel like it would go in that direction. So we see page 38 here. Matsuri is like clinging to last bits of life with her wood style or wood jutsu into the ground, sticking in the ground, and into Konohamaru. And she says, "How dare you trick me, bastard, you bastard. You'll pay for that." And then we see a shuriken hit Matsuri. And we see Boruto pull up. And if you zoom in, if you look really deep in, you see this little symbol here. I'm pretty sure it's one of Boruto's charms that allows him to teleport so fast. But we see it here in the middle. They literally purposely put it on a white background so you could see it, pretty sure. Because we already see the shuriken already in Matsuri, so this is something else. And I think it's behind Boruto. So it's closer to us. And then we see Boruto posing here. And actually, yes, in the next panel, you do see it on the left here. The little charm. And Konohamaru sees it. And there's a Mitsuki saying, "I found a piece of metal. It might be one that Boruto uses for teleportation." The next panel.
Can we talk about that entrance though? Oh my God!
Real, bro. Oh my God.
How fast do you think it was?
Oh, that's instant. It's teleport. But it looks like when in the anime Boruto teleports him and Ishiki to another dimension, right? When he threw the sword, Ishiki was trying to shrink it. He was like, "It ain't shrinking. What is going on?" And then he realized, oh, Boruto, because he did the Naruto thing where you throw the shuriken. It's actually somebody transformed into it. That Naruto did against Abusa, which Boruto did against Kagemasa early in Boruto episode 9. But it reminds me of that, where he did that to Ishiki and teleported him away. And then once they got to the other dimension, we saw it's the same pose too, like hand down, like a Chidori, but no lightning. And then the cape flapping or the cape going up in the air, that reminds me of Sasuke against Kinshiki when he statue swapped. When he swapped with that statue, that was also instant too. But if they make it look like either of the two, that'd be first off a good callback, and it would look crazy. Oh my God, that would look so good.
I need the anime. I need the anime more than anything. I need the anime more than anything, bro. Oh my God.
Boruto will go trending with this kind of move. This is like you could tell he's frustrated, and like that's a scary Boruto. Like that's him when he's pissed off.
Just look at reactions of when Sasuke swapped with the statue. Just look at it on YouTube. That's gonna be Boruto right here when he teleports. Oh my God. Because that was so creative too. Just that shot of Uh-huh.
Is he going to like instantly teleport away, or is he going to stick around? Like, what's he going to do?
Well, what you mean?
Like before, see how Konohara is looking away. Like he hasn't even noticed. Like he's not even like processing things yet. And like the moment he turns around to look where Matsuri is Boruto gonna be gone? Like in an instant? Like is he gonna be?
Wait. If you look carefully, right?
Well,
Look at the panel above when Mitsuki's talking about it, right? Konohama's actually looking at Boruto. He's actually looking at Boruto, and then you see him still looking over there. So this is pretty fast.
Well, he went for two things, right? He teleported to that little symbol thing, one of his pins probably, and then threw the kunai, the fucking shuriken. He threw the shuriken on her. So when he blitzes her, he disappears from that pin and he teleports to the shuriken.
Right.
Because it's the whole thing of if you have two different areas that you threw at with two different shurikens, but they're the same symbol, you can't, you don't know which one you're going to. So he threw one that wasn't and one that is a shuriken. So he could do this, make them look this way, right? Just like a magician. Make them look that way while you're doing something on the other side. And then he teleports to it and that's why it was, but it's two different things. He threw one over there, somewhere in the back, or to their right. And then he threw one on Matsuri. That's why she's gonna not even be able to say his name before he cuts her down.
Yeah. So the next page, page 41, Matsuri does say Boruto, but she's like gets cut off. She couldn't say his full name. And we do see him teleport to the shuriken, slice her up real quick. But the next panel, one of her eyes is still there looking. So Kasha Koji says, that idiot, he's going to ruin everything. And then the last two panels is we see Jura sitting there with the book, looking down. And he says, there you are, Otsutsuki Boruto. So he knows Boruto's there.
Oh, yeah, he saw through Matsuri.
Boruto through her eyes.
Yes. I just wanted to make that point because you guys are starting to talk about it and we didn't get there yet. But
oh, yeah.
Yeah, that is a good point. He did teleport. Yeah, to the shuriken.
Wait, no, I don't think he teleported to the shuriken, right? So when he threw two things, you see the bunny, the thing, you see that in the distance. So he threw the shuriken and then he threw it.
No, I think what happened was
he went to two different spots. He teleported to the theta. That's what it's called, I think, or an Otha. I forget what the symbol is called. It's OTHATA or something like that. I don't remember what. It's some type of Roman numeral thing, but or the Roman alphabet, or is it Greek? Which one's the Omega Alpha? Is that Greek? That's Greek, right? Not Roman.
I think it would be Roman, right?
I don't know, but whichever one, it's one of those symbols. And I think it has something to do with Kaoki too. I'm pretty sure like that relates to Kaoki, the symbol, or maybe not. I don't know, but
yeah, it's Greek.
Yeah, he teleports to that one, make him look this way, while the one in the back is marked, and then he teleports to that one and blitzes her. Because if it ain't, and it's his raw speed, then that's even faster.
So what's going to happen?
He's faster than most.
What's going to happen though? Is Jura going to pull up on him? Is he going to teleport away real quick? What's going on?
I mean, he does have a bunch of other symbols still in play, right? He has the one that goes to Sarada. He has the one that goes to wherever they are with Kashin Koji to go back. So I think, what was that one? That one was the triangle, right? The one to get back home, or not home, but the one to get back to base with Koji. Is that the triangle or the square one? The symbol. Whichever one it is, though. He has a bunch of other ones, so he could really,
but it's like,
do one of those where he's teleporting in and out.
But he leaves one of those. You don't think Jura could find them based off of one of those symbols found on the ground? It's almost like,
I mean,
I think of it as like a gun. Like you shoot it and you get some ammo, right? Or you get like the the bullet, the shell, the casing. If it kind of feels like that's like evidence that this guy was here. You know what I mean?
shit, maybe. I mean, it's a teleportation. I mean, the only thing I could think of is Ishiki, right? So when they explained to us how he figured out the problem of two shuriken, you throw one to the left, one to the right, how you decide which one you go, you don't even know. And he thought of the symbols. They were talking about how he's imbuing his own chakra into whatever the symbol that he's marking it with, right? And that's just like how Ishiki found Kawaki. Ishiki found Kawaki because he felt the chakra of Naruto in Kawaki's bionic arm. I don't know. His arm that was actually for Naruto, but he gave it to Kawaki after Kawaki broke his because he protected him from Delta. So I'm assuming that's the only thing that they could do, just because I've seen it before, right? Where he feels the chakra and it can track. And then, you know what Ishiki did? He fucking opened the portal. Kawaki came out and they were like, oh no, he's here. And then Amato was talking about well, it's over. He didn't really say that, but it was basically like that. You know what I mean? So I'm assuming that's the only thing they could do because they already do have teleportation, right, with the claw marks. But I don't know because you got to be there first to put a claw mark. Unless they mix it up where, now they can do it because they're Shinju or whatever. I don't know. But that's the only thing I could think they could do with that symbol. Because that isn't a brand of Kashinkoji, right? They wouldn't know immediately if they pick up that little symbol or if they at any point get any of the pins. They're not going to know, this means Kashinkoji is working with them because they're looking for the accomplice, right? They're not going to know just off of that, I don't think. Because I don't remember Kashinkoji doing any of that. The only thing was his bird mask or the owl mask, whatever. So it has to be that, if anything, unless it's something that we don't know and then I can't guess at all, it has to be the same thing that Ishiki did, which would make sense, right? Big bad, trying to find one guy, same thing.
Right. So, does anyone else have anything they want to say about this chapter? I just got to say that the artwork was beautiful. Good job, Ikimoto, on that one.
The art was really nicely done. Like specifically, there's this page of Sarada. It was page, I think, 24, when she's saying, not realizing that I was also rejecting the power hiding inside of me. Something about that page, that's a really nice artwork. That's like of Sarada. Like Ikimoto is doing pretty good with her. I can see that looking really nice in the anime.
For sure, yeah. Okay, well, that comes... Oh, you got anything else?
I'm just thinking... And I guess I'm good. It's not much else I can say.
Okay.
I did say I can talk about it at the end or after. You want me to talk about it right now or after? After? Alright, never mind. That's it. That's all.
Okay, so that concludes the chapter 21, Mangekyo Sharingan chapter of Two Blue Vortex. Thank you everyone for coming. And I'll definitely see you guys in the next podcast. Check out the Boruto Club. Just look up Boruto.club and you can see everything else we're doing. Thank you so much.